Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I have something to tell you.
I'm scared.
Did you hear the news?
Kate Middleton?
Jesus has risen.
Oh my god, you are so stupid.
Happy belated Easter, everybody, to
Happy
all
belated
who celebrate and
Easter.
worship. We
I hope you
don't,
guys found the
but
lucky egg or whatever the fuck, the prized egg. Did you guys used to
yeah,
do that? Like
with
there
like a
was like
dollar bill in it
yeah,
or
like
like
a
$5 or
yeah, and
whatever.
you're like, "Oh my god, I love
You're
that."
like, I'm rich.
Yes, those were the
Imagine. Oh my
days.
God, literally. They really were.
And
I'm
honestly, every time I see an egg like that, like literally I have a rental car and I opened the trunk to put like my work stuff in it. And there was a little Easter egg, like a plastic Easter egg floating around.
Oh my
And I
God.
was like, is this the lucky egg? And I opened it. Of course, there was absolutely nothing in there. But I was like, I'm always like, I have to just pop it open.
Is that a sign? Maybe that's like maybe that's a sign from the universe.
What sign would that be? And
Wait,
is what a
actually,
sign? A plastic egg?
something happened to me. Okay, so I was driving back actually from Arizona this afternoon, and I have been just receiving an abundance of signs and synchronicities lately. Have no idea what they're trying to tell me, but they're definitely there. And one of them, like the biggest one, has have been my angel numbers, which I have another traumatizing story about that, but that's maybe for another time. So I've been seeing fours everywhere, and I've been seeing one everywhere, of course. And but that's like standard. I feel like everyone sees like 111 all the time. So I'm driving. I look down on my phone. It's 11:11, and I'm like, slay. And then I look up, and the mile marker that I'm at is mile 11, and I'm like, okay. And then I look up at the fucking road, and there's somebody literally coming straight ahead at me in my fucking lane, trying to pass somebody else. Like literally, almost hit me. Like I almost got in a head-on collision, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like literally angel numbers and then death. Like what does that mean? Like what does that mean? Like is that a bad omen? Like what the fuck does that mean? Does that mean my angel, like any signs and synchronicities I've been seeing are actually like bad
You were just like
omens?
la di da di da driving through the desert.
Driving
Like,
in my own fucking
yeah,
lane,
just like,
and
oh
I'm
my god, I'm
like,
seeing my angel numbers. And then you look
and then
up
I almost became an
and
angel.
and you were
Like
like saw your life flash before your eyes.
literally, I was almost sent to the heavens, and I'm like,
I
okay,
think that means
something
that you have
about
a little someone watching over you.
mm, I feel like if someone was watching over me, I wouldn't need to be put in that position in the first place. But
Well, they save you
potential,
from situations like that.
yeah. That was interesting though. I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
I
Yeah.
don't know. That scares me. That scares me.
Yeah.
I have like PTSD from car accidents, so I'm like triggered. That's terrifying.
I've been in a few myself, and yes, I agree.
Yeah. Like I can't watch, like sometimes I'm scrolling on TikTok and it's like car accidents and people, I'm like, I can't. Like I literally will wake up out of bed thinking I'm rear-ending someone.
You know what I can never get out of my head? This is horrible, and I actually don't like to talk about it, but like, you know, the sound of when you're in a vehicle and it collides with another vehicle,
Yeah.
like what it sounds like from the
Yeah.
inside of the car.
Yeah.
That sound does not leave my head. And sometimes I get really bad intrusive thoughts like on a regular basis. And sometimes I'll be driving and I'll just like hear that sound in my head. And I'm like, it's so fucking
I
scary.
think that's called schizophrenia.
No, I don't think that's what it is. Not a diagnosis I'm accepting. What were we talking about just a few minutes ago? And we were
Shall we
like,
do a little intro and then jump back into stupid shit?
me, I'm literally so manic.
I
I'm like,
know.
what
I'm like,
podcast? I'm just
how
here to
many milligrams
chat.
did we take today?
Well, I only took 10, but it was at like 11:30.
Mm.
I showed up at my dad's house because I stopped at my dad's on my way through, and he like I literally texted my sister after, and I was like, Dad is 1,000% gonna ask you if I'm doing crack the next time he talks to you. Like
Because you were rolling balls when
I
you
was
walked in.
literally, I like showed up and I started like whipping out all these facts. I started talking to him about blue zones and like the health benefits of beans, and I started talking to him about the Boeing conspiracy theories. Oh my God, like, and I'm just like whipping all this shit like
He
out of the
probably
back of my
loved it.
brain.
He probably loved it. He's like, she's a QAnon as well. Let's get it. Let's get it going. She has conspiracy theories.
Yeah, he definitely thinks I take drugs, and I do. So anyway, hi girls, welcome back to Hot and Bothered. I'm Cedar Champ,
I'm Chris Bruno,
and on this podcast we talk about everything that we find hot as fuck.
and everything that bothers the absolute shit out of us.
We have no credentials, minimal life experience, don't take our advice on anything.
And that's about it.
Okay.
Manic little sluts.
Adore.
Have to throw that in there.
Okay, so back to the conversation we were having about finding a fucking $5 bill in an Easter egg.
Yes.
$5 went so fucking far when we were young.
Yeah.
And just a few minutes ago, we were having conversation about planning for trips and how
Yeah.
expensive trips are.
They like, as an adult, becoming an adult is like, I was just telling Cedar, like, you used to, like, in college, you would be able to like do a weekend trip with friends or like a couple days somewhere. And like, I remember being like, okay, like I have $500 to spend.
Yeah.
Like on spending things, like I would even go shopping. I'm like, how the fuck did I live?
How did I do
and
that?
now it's literally like, if I'm going on vacation, it's like the Amex is at 15,000. Like I don't know.
Scary.
And I also kind of like love that because it's like when I'm on fucking vacation or when I'm not
vacation.
when I'm somewhere other than LA, I'm like, money is not real. Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, I feel this like when I'm home here, I'm like, money isn't real either. But like when I'm on vacation or even when I'm like at my parents' house, I'm
it's like extra not real.
I'm just like, I have all the money in the world. This is pretend money. And like I can spend anything I want. And yeah, I have a few trips coming up every weekend in April, which is a slay for me, but also beyond stressful. But I'm like, that card is going to turn into a thin piece of hair by the end of the swipage because I'm like, I don't care.
When I remember when I was in college, my freshman year, I did a spring break trip to Mexico, of course. And I think I'm so fucking dead serious. I'm pretty sure the trip in total, flights, hotel, food, clothes before, etc. I'm like 99.9% sure I spent only like $1,500 on the whole thing. And I cannot even fathom that now. Like, I'm pretty sure that's probably what I spent just in the trip I took to Arizona, and I didn't have to pay for a fucking hotel or anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy how fast
That's
you
like
can burn money.
Gas and like 3 drinks and lunch.
No, literally.
Yeah.
And also, I feel the same way where I'm like, literally, while I was in Arizona, money was not real.
No.
Like,
and you don't think about
fucking Monopoly money. It doesn't even count. And I'm like, it's going to feel real, obviously, when I get home and look at my fucking credit card statement. But like, it's just, but like you said, you just can't be cheap on vacation.
You can't. It's
like
so ghetto. Imagine being like, oh, I don't want to have another drink, or like, oh, I don't want to order this because it's like $12 more than the other thing. It's like
so ghetto.
Nothing matters.
First of all, no one wants to be on vacation with that person.
No one wants to be on vacation
Second
with that
of all,
person.
no one wants to look back on their life 15 years from now and say, I wish I would have done more when I was on that vacation and would like because I wasn't or because I was being so cheap, or I wish I wasn't being so cheap and would have done more when I was on that vacation. Like, no one's going to be so fucking glad 15 years from now that they saved themselves $200 extra while on that vacation. Like,
exactly,
because $200 is going to be 2 cents in 10 years anyway. So like whatever. But it's just, yeah, no, don't be cheap on vacation because that's ghetto. And also you can't take it with you when you go.
True. And I also feel like that mindset when I do go on a trip, I come back and I'm like, oh, I spent a lot less than I thought I was spending.
Right. Like, live in the mindset that you think that you are literally putting down a mortgage on a house while you're on vacation.
Yeah. Every dinner you go to, it's literally your life savings is on the line, and just fucking ball out like it's your last fucking day on earth.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely.
Why would you be cheap on vacation?
You know what? I actually will say, when I was in college, I studied abroad, and I was cheap when I was studying abroad. Obviously, lesson learned, because I was like a college kid and like I didn't have a job during college or anything. And so like,
where were you? Where did you go?
Florence. And so I did a handful of things, but I was also like fully reliant on my parents. So like whatever money I had really was what they would give me. And looking back on it, I'm like, there's so many other things I should have done. Could have, should have, would have. Like, yeah. And I just will not be that way ever again in my life. Because I'm like, fuck that. Like,
cheers
if I'm
to not being cheap.
Exactly. If I'm leaving town, if I'm already spending the money to get out of town,
I'm spending the fucking money. Balls to the wall, spend everything.
Absolutely.
If it doesn't exist, if we don't have the funds, we will pay interest at some point.
Mm-hmm. Completely.
I love that.
Obsessed.
I'm excited. I was not anticipating my April. Like literally 2 weeks ago, if you told me that all this shit was happening, I would have been like,
I'm
no.
excited for you.
I'm excited too. I need
It's
to
gonna
live
be
a
so
little
fun.
bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you've been working so hard. Like, you deserve it.
I know. Oh my God, you sound like a straight person. I'm like, okay.
I'm like, literally, I'm on cloud 9 right now for
You've
no
been working
reason.
so hard. You deserve it, Chris.
I'm not going to bed until 5 a.m. for sure. I'm
Me
like
too,
totally tweaked out.
1000%.
Okay,
Okay, slay. So let's not be cheap. We love it. Okay, what else do we want to talk about?
Let's make sure we cover everything before we get into hot top. That's why I do the hot topics. Does my apartment smell like piss?
I can't smell anything. My nose doesn't work.
Conversations about aging. We need to have drag names. Easter. No, I have nothing else to address.
What would your drag name be?
You know what? I have been thinking about that also because I started RuPaul's Drag Race season 10 yesterday with my sister.
I can't watch that show.
I'm obsessed with it.
I can't
obviously.
watch it.
And I started with my sister yesterday, and at first she was like on her phone and whatever. And then like the 4th episode in, we're both on the edge of our seats.
Yeah.
It was like so good. I was like, this is such a bonding moment. Also, the like juxtaposition of going from the weekend at the rodeo to like the weekday watching Drag Race.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so us. But anyway, so yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot, and I'm like, I'm so not creative when it comes to like crafty nicknames and stuff. So I like, honestly, I want to say my drag name would probably be Chester the Molester, because that was literally my nickname when I was a kid, and my sisters would use it and it would make me so upset and I would like cry, and then they would still call me that in front of people. So I feel like that would be my drag name.
I have had, I should have them written down somewhere, but I feel like I come up with made up names all the time, and it would just be a matter of like closing my eyes and like flipping a page to find which one I want. But I can't think of anything obviously right now, but
should we do homework?
My brother, I will give him credit. He said that the name Alexia Nervosa would be a good drag name, like anorexia nervosa, like Alexia Nervosa. But I think that we could tweak that last name to make it like a little bit different.
I kind of love her.
Mm-hmm.
I love her.
Yeah.
Is there one we could do that's like a play on Ozempic?
I was just thinking, you were saying Chester the Molester, and my brother used to call me X-Tina, which I feel like would be just like cute.
That's cute.
Like X-Tina.
Yeah.
I could imagine
cute.
that.
I feel like there's probably 15 drag queens out there running this
for
right
sure,
now.
but none of them have been. I don't think there's been an X-Tina on RuPaul's Drag Race.
RuPaul's, yeah.
I did used to watch Drag Race religiously because my ex-boyfriend literally it like put him to bed every single night, so I'm quite familiar with it. But I feel like as the seasons went on, oh my God, this is turning into what's their Katya and the other one,
Trixie and Katya.
Yeah, what is their podcast called?
The Bald and the Beautiful.
Yes. This is what this is turning into.
Obsessed.
But I just feel like, I mean, I basically watched it from season 1, but as the progression, like as, you know, the seasons went on, I'm just like, I'm rewatching the same thing. And then these new girls are trying to recreate like the old shit.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of felt like as it went on and as I was keeping up with like the new seasons, I was just like, literally, I'm not seeing anything new here.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, I was like,
Let's
okay, I get the
girls.
point. Yeah. And then obviously there's, you know, some good queens, but I was just like, I don't have the energy for this. And like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a bad gay. So it was,
I mean,
I can't keep up with it. I just don't have the inherent interest in that.
Yeah.
You know?
I've never really like watched shows that are like contestant based in that way, but obviously I love a gay, so obviously I'd like Drag Race, but I feel like I have a little bit more homework to do because I'm only up to like, I've only watched like seasons 6 through now. I'm like halfway through 10.
Those are like the good ones.
Yeah, I want to see all of the first ones, and then I want to see like a little bit from like now, but to be determined how I feel about those, you know. But I'm like dying because I don't even know Trixie and Katya from RuPaul's Drag Race. I just know them like from the internet.
Yeah.
And I'm like dying to go back and see their seasons.
You should. That's like the peak of Drag Race.
But also,
and it will never be the same. That's also kind of why I'm like, I'm not invested in it anymore. It's because it's like those old, me talking about Drag Race is like, I don't even know, a straight woman talking about like football. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know shit about it, but I just
Yeah.
feel like from what I've watched, like those seasons are like elite and those queens are elite and that
Yeah.
will never happen
No one
again.
will ever
So
top
yeah,
that.
so I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna waste my time when I've already seen like the fucking gold mine of what this show is supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. Yeah, but one season that like was important for me to watch and like kind of why I decided to start watching it was because of what's her name? Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I watched her season, of course, because I like wanted to see what that was all about, it was a good
She's like
season.
literally my favorite queen. Honestly,
No, she's good.
I love her.
She's good.
She's just like a diva.
Yeah.
I'm
And
deep
because she's
down.
like, I fucking love plastic surgery,
Yeah.
like love everything about it. I'll keep
Yeah.
getting it forever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
good for you.
She's just like a diva.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't give a fuck.
And we love a diva.
Yeah. And she's a good fucking performer.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't talk tonight.
Whatever.
I'm not enunciating.
Do we ever enunciate?
No. Okay, that
Vocal
was
Fry
an
Central.
interesting little drag race.
Yeah, I actually didn't know we
Oh
were
my
going to
god,
get into
I
that.
know. We've never talked about drag race.
That was cute.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that more.
Talk about drag race?
Yeah. Let's do our homework this week and let's come up with drag names and then we'll report back later.
Okay, check in with me every day at about 4 p.m. and say, are you thinking of a
about your
drag name? Drag name. And then next week I'll come back to you with one.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
probably just gonna be like a Caucasian woman name.
Jenny from the block.
No, I don't like that name. Cedar just choked to death, but here we are. And now that
Not
she
even choking on anything fun either.
And now that she has risen from the dead for the second time today, just like Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Are you hot or are you bothered?
I'm actually gonna choose to be both.
Pulling a Chris Bruno.
Chris, exactly. So indecisive. No, I'm so hot this week because I actually did the homework that I assigned to myself last week.
Okay.
The first time in the history of this podcast.
Yeah.
What are we at? 33 episodes now? Maybe at 34. I don't know. Who's keeping count? I did my own homework. And last episode, I told you I wanted to find somebody long distance to entertain. And of course, that's exactly what I did.
Perfect.
Which like it's so incredible to me how easy and naturally
Wait, I have
it
a long
comes.
distance boyfriend too.
Slay.
From Barcelona. Did I tell you about him?
Did you talk about him last weekend?
I don't remember.
You were like, it's probably not even gonna work because he doesn't live. We live in different countries.
Oh yeah, we're having a baby. Okay, I want to hear about
Gorgeous.
yours.
Okay, it's so insane to me how like naturally it comes to me to just like gravitate towards somebody who doesn't live anywhere near me.
Yeah, of course.
It's gorgeous. Okay, so I went out this weekend. I was in Arizona. My sister and I and her good friend all went to the rodeo, had the best time. We actually didn't have tickets for Saturday night. We had tickets for Thursday night and Friday night, but not Saturday night. So my sister gets on Hinge and matches with literally the fucking dorkiest looking cowboy I've ever seen in my life. Gets passes from him for us. So then we attend the rodeo Saturday night. And I'm like,
how
okay,
long did this whole transaction take?
no time at all. Like it was like wham bam, thank you, ma'am. And then when they go to do
She's
the
like,
handoff,
hold on, I have a solution. Swipe, 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 match. It's a match. Hi, can I get tickets?
exactly. And
So
I saw
good.
the messages on her Hinge or Tinder or whatever the fuck she's on. And literally like it took no effort. He was like, how's your weekend going? And she's like, good. Like just have been at the rodeo. He's like, are you going tonight? She's like, we don't have tickets. And he's like, oh, okay, I can get you some. That was the conversation up to that point. It was like so quick.
And then she's like, unmatch. They're at Whale Call.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So no, and then she like goes to meet up with him to like get the tickets, and he was just like, are you guys having fun? And they're like, because I wasn't there. Are you guys having fun? They're like, yeah. And like he hands them over and that was it. Like he like didn't care. My sister like texted him later to like be polite. He like didn't even respond to her.
Oh, God, I love when you're on the same frequency as someone in that sense. It's like so good.
It was gorgeous.
And then you're kind of like, fuck, now do I kind of want to like hang out with this person because now he's like ignoring me?
No, yeah. And you're like,
Yeah.
maybe he's fun.
Yeah, maybe he's like a vibe.
So I was designated to be the one. If push came to shove and someone had to make out with him, I was nominated. And I was like, you know what? I'll take on that nomination.
Yeah, you're
I've
like-
kissed some trolls before in my
Yeah.
life. His name's Gavin, and that's relevant. just because it's iconic. Gavin. So
Mrs. Newsom.
he's like short, skinny, big fucking ears, like round little face. He's adorable, but like dweeby, obviously. So anyway,
How old is this person?
no idea. Don't
And he
care.
rides a bull.
I don't know what he rides. Something. Not me. And anyway, so then we go to the rodeo. We have a blast. We go out to the bar later that night. And I'm like, okay, it's Saturday night. I've been here since Thursday. I haven't found anyone cute yet. I'm like, I'm giving up the hunt and I'm just going to like enjoy my night. So then, literally, as soon as I decide that, we start talking to this group of guys. They're all rodeo queens, whatever the fuck they do.
Mhm.
I start chatting with the cute one.
Slay.
The first time in my life, I actually am like talking to the cute one of the group.
Yeah.
You know, because I always like take a back seat. I'm like, I'll let you guys choose and like
Mhm.
whatever. So I'm talking to the cute one, and I'm so fucking hammered at this point. So hammered that I don't know anything we're talking about, first of all. Second of all, I'm drunk enough that I got on a mechanical bull. I was hammered. And
So good.
I don't remember anything about this man except for the fact that he was a bronc rider and he coached me on how to ride a bull, even though he doesn't know either.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're like all chatting for a little while. And then lo and behold, their good fucking friend Gavin walks up. Full circle. So anyway, we're all hanging out. We adore Gavin. He's so funny, cute, and quirky. So the night goes on. I was like gonna hook up with this guy and then he like really turned me off. So I ended up just like dropping him off and like went about my merry way. And we exchanged our contact info and whatever. The next day, I'm like, what are you doing?
What were you wearing? Was it like a rodeo cosplay?
Yeah, kind of in a cute way.
Yeah.
I was wearing my sister's cowboy boots. I was wearing jeans, a red bodysuit. And then when I rode my bull, I did wear the bronc rider's hat. So I had a cowboy hat on.
Cute.
And my sister's belt.
Love. I needed a visual.
Yeah, it was cute. I actually have a video of me riding the bull, which no one will ever see because it was really bad. And it's actually really hard on your wrist. I didn't like it. Anyway.
A lot of hip thrusting.
A lot of hip thrusting, but I feel like a lot of it is like it's so much more in the upper body strength, which you wouldn't think.
Because you're kind of like you're just letting the bottom be limp and you're keeping the top like.
Yeah, because there's like a little thing you hold on to with one hand. And so you have to like really lock it in with like that one hand. The more you know. I never knew any of this about bull riding. I've seen a million bull rides in my life, but I never knew any of this. It's
Well,
like
your boyfriend told you.
my boyfriend told me. He also explained to me how this is one part of the night I do remember. I asked him because in rodeo, this whole episode is just an educational episode on rodeo.
Perfect.
In rodeo, there's two different kinds of bronc riding. So there's bareback and then there's saddle. And I'm like, okay, so if you ride saddle, you're a pussy,
Yeah.
right? And he rides saddle, and so I'm like, hey, what's the difference? Because like I need you to wow me, you know. And basically, how he explained it was like when you're riding bareback, you have like a thing to hold on to, but when you're riding saddle, basically all you can hold on to is kind of like their mane.
Mm-hmm.
And
are you sitting on a saddle?
Yes, like a small one, I think. But like your handle is like literally like the horse's neck, essentially. I don't know the logistics of it, but what I do remember is the way he demonstrated it was by sliding his hand up the back of my neck and grabbing a fistful of my hair. And yeah, it was really hot. And I was like, okay, I'm literally in love with this man. So the next day.
This is the one. This is a different one, or this is the one?
This is my bronc rider.
I thought you said that you just left him to be because something turned you off.
That was later.
Okay.
This was rewind. But anyway, I get rid of him. We're texting the next day. I'm like, what are you doing today? I'm not leaving until later. Like, let's do something, maybe. And he's like, oh, I already left town.
Where is this person from?
Colorado. Of course, part of the conversation I didn't remember from the night before. Because, like, why would I? So now I have a long distance boyfriend. We've been texting and talking, and the conversation's really dry and boring. But
so you're in your Kristen Cavallari cowgirl era, cowboy fantasy, long distance, younger man vibe.
Exactly. So there's so much more to this story, which I'm going to dive into 15 different topics here. So hot because I have a long distance boyfriend.
Perfect.
Bothered because two reasons. First being, we've mentioned this before. I don't know anyone's age anymore. I do not know how to tell how old somebody is.
Me too. It's my, what's the opposite of talent? My like biggest fault.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you could tell me you're 65 and I would be like, sweet, you look great. You could tell me you're 16 and I would be like, that's weird.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also, I feel like it's just gotten so much worse lately. But I also was like, okay, maybe it's an LA thing. Maybe it's a Barney's Beanery thing. Like, anyway. So I'll go out and I'll be chatting to a guy. And I'm like, how old are you? And he's like 22. And I'm like, swerve, like the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
So when I met my bronc riding boyfriend, I was like so hammered. I don't know anything we talked about. And I was drunk enough that I never even asked his age. I don't know if I even knew his name and didn't care either. Because I was like,
You're on vacation.
I'm in love with this man. He's my soulmate. Nothing else matters, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to stress the details. So the next morning I wake up filled with fucking dread because I'm like, I never asked that man how old he was.
Mm-hmm.
He could have very easily been 27. And I'm like, okay, if he's 27, I will be so at peace
He's
with
18.
that. That's young for me, but at least he's older than me,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like filled with dread because I'm like, I know that if I ask him, I'm going to get an answer I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just petrified.
Mm-hmm.
But I sacked up and I asked him, and he's fucking 24 years old. An infant. I've never even looked at somebody 24 years old, let alone made out with and nearly had sex with someone 24 years old. A year younger than me, that scares me. And I'm
Yeah.
like looking at this man, I'm like, he's easily 27, 28. Like, there's no way he's
What was
younger
making
than
you
me.
think he was 27, 28?
I don't know.
Just
'Cause
the
I don't
fact that
remember
being
really
with a
what he looks
24
like.
being attracted to a 24-year-old doesn't even
It's
exist
not
in
real.
your mind.
It's
Yeah,
not real.
it's impossible.
I think it's also maybe partly, I am going to blame it maybe on the fact that like cowboys are going to age a little quicker.
Yeah,
naturally.
they're in the sun with their cowboy hats.
Exactly.
with
Like
the
they're
lasso.
doing things and like
Yeah.
getting dirty
Yeah.
and
Their
getting
hands
kicked by
age.
bulls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they age quicker. They always
Yes.
have facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
He looks 2 inches taller because he's wearing cowboy boots
Oh.
that are lifting him a bit,
Okay,
So it's like
obsessed.
they always just look a little bit older
Yeah.
than they actually are. And so in my head, I remember like meeting him and I didn't by any means look at him and think, oh, this man looks young. I'm like, this man is appropriate for me, And he wasn't. 24 is an
So you haven't
infant.
spoken to him since you found out the answer to that question?
No, we've been texting.
Me bored.
Okay, anyway, last reason I'm bothered, and then I'm closing out this chapter until
Further notice.
The rodeo circuit comes around to fucking Los Angeles.
Do they have that here?
I don't know. I've been wondering that.
Probably
I know that
in like
there's
Santa Clarita or something.
I know that there's rodeos in California. I'm just like, how far am I driving to meet this man that like might even have a small dick? I don't know.
So his occupation, career, job is riding a bull.
A bronc.
Does he make money doing that?
Probably not, because cowboys, the number one rule
Like
of cowboys is that they're all fucking broke.
Mm.
Even the ones that like make it far and have money, they don't have money because they spend it on dumb shit or they're spending it on more entry fees.
On a motorhome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also that was another thing when Bella Hadid started dating that cowboy, everyone was like, yes, good for her. And I'm like, that man is broke. I don't care how fucking rich he looks, that man is broke.
Okay, you know what I was thinking, and I don't know if you're gonna get this because you're not a gay man, but you basically are. But like
Honorary.
on my TikTok page, there's like all those like straight guys that do like gay shit to get clout.
Like what gay shit?
I don't know, just like dance around with like their dick swinging around or like pretend to kiss or like do like a gay little dance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like pretty straight boys.
Like pretty straight boys that act gay to like get
likes.
Yeah. Kristen Cavallari's boyfriend they were like doing some like cowboy thing and I was like, okay, these people
I saw that.
I was like, they have like a little trio, like a little group name. It's funny because it's like the ugly one goes first. The middle one is always like hot. And then the third one is her boyfriend who's like fucking hot.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they always put the ugly one first. I was like, and they saved like the hot one for last. I was like,
Right.
that's so rude. I would be so pissed if I was the first one.
Absolutely.
But I legitimately like these people were coming up on my page and I was like, okay, like another straight man that's like using the homosexual community to
Yeah.
get some fucking clout.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later on Instagram, on E! News, whatever, like a picture of her with this guy. And I was
Yep.
like, what the fuck? I was like, I thought these were like OnlyFans freaks.
Yeah.
But he's like a baseball player or
That's
something.
literally her child bride.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, go off. But
So now that's me.
She can do no wrong. So she
So
can do
true.
absolutely no wrong.
So true.
I
think she should just, I mean, it is a little, like, the age difference is a little weird, but also I'm like, I don't care. It's not any of my
She
business.
like lives
I'm
in
not.
Nashville. There's no rules. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And especially, I feel like if he's making videos like that on the internet, then like laws don't apply. Like, whatever.
Well, they do. That's gay.
The gay law applies.
I don't know. That's weird that they're like imagine like three bros coordinating that kind of TikTok.
No, absolutely.
That is fucking gay.
So fucking gay. And also, I'm like, imagine that being your boyfriend. I would be so embarrassed.
I would be mortified.
I would be so embarrassed.
Like, I need to be behind the scenes of like how the three of them are communicating. like, oh no, Billy, you should do that. Like, that looks better.
Yeah.
I'm like, how?
Or what if you move your hips like this?
Yeah, but I'm also like, they're probably just like hot and getting it on the first try. But I'm like, do they like who coordinates this?
Yeah, like, can you imagine?
Do they
being
practice
like a
this at
straight man
home?
and, like, going to your group of like guy friends and being like
pulling over
hey
the truck.
guys, I think it'd be really cool if we made this video.
Yeah, there has to be something wrong.
Absolutely. Also, I think it's okay when a girl wants attention on the internet, but when a guy wants attention on the internet, a straight guy, it's just like, you're embarrassing.
Yeah,
Go to war. Like, what are you doing?
I think my friend Alex Pierce, also known as HRH Collection, did a quick snippet.
Your dear friend.
My dear friend did a quick snippet on that. And like, that's a thought that I've always had. She was just like, if a straight guy is making a TikTok, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, if a straight guy is making a TikTok about something like educational, but if you're a straight man and you're like trying to become like an influencer, that's weird to me.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
That's weird to me.
I completely agree. Like, do you not have, like, go think about crypto or something. Like what are you doing?
Literally, go think about crypto. Go like work.
Yeah.
Go like look
join the military.
Go join the military. Like, go read a book on the stock market. Like, we need them to fix the economy and like
we're
be
gonna sit here and be
doctors.
pretty.
We need them to like do surgeries and be doctors and fix the economy and build stuff.
And let us be pretty on the
like
internet.
we don't have room for the straight men to also be taking over. Straight men don't have a spot in social media.
No, they don't. They don't. And like, this is a little anti-feminist of me, but also this goes into my third reason as to why I'm bothered. Chivalry is in fact dead. And case in point, the reason I ditched my boyfriend this weekend on Saturday night, right before we were about to get it on, was because
just everything you're saying, I'm like, I don't even know what chivalry is dead means. And then you just said as we were about to get it on, I'm like, you literally have been at the fucking rodeo for too long.
I was in Arizona for way too long. My brain is fried. My dad got me a job in the government. I'm actually moving to Arizona
like
tomorrow.
A 60-year-old person. Okay, what happened? Right as before
so
you're right before about to get it on.
We were literally about to get it on. Well, I mean, like, okay, so we're like leaving the bar, going back to his camper because he's staying in a camper on the rodeo grounds, as a bronc rider does. Sometimes it's fun to be a little like to cosplay in the rodeo world, or like be a little bit of a hillbilly just for a weekend, and then I have to come back here. But anyway, and that's just like, that's part of the act, you know, you go fuck in a camper on the rodeo grounds. So my sister had met this guy, right?
I'm just like, I want to do that. I want to go to a rodeo. I would get chewed up and spit out.
It was so much fun, Chris. Anyway.
I need to like eat a hot dog and have mud in my shoe.
Exactly. Okay, so we're like leaving the bar, and my sister had met this other guy, and this other guy had driven us home the night before, so like he was gonna drive us home.
So you
again.
have your whole little posse already.
So yeah, exactly. I have like a whole crew. We all live in Arizona. I'm actually running for governor, so please vote for me. So we are on our way out to the car, and it's raining, right? And he parked across the street in a different parking lot.
Cheap.
And well, this is my sister's fling.
Cheap.
But he does drive a really, really gorgeous Bronco. And I'm like, how are you making this money? Come to find out, he's like a fitness influencer on TikTok or whatever.
Oh, that one.
Yes. So he's going to drive us. So I'm walking out hand in hand with my new boyfriend. My sister's with hers. And we get to the front, about to exit the bar, and we realize it's fucking downpouring. And I'm like, I don't really want to get my hair wet. So this fucking guy that I'm with has the goddamn audacity to suggest that the guy who's doing us all a favor by driving us home goes and gets the car by himself and brings it around and picks the rest of us up at the front. And I'm like, first of all, that's so rude. Second of all, you're a fucking guy. If anyone is going to sit here and wait for the truck to be brought around, it's the two girls.
Mm-hmm.
The two guys would go together.
Yeah.
You're not going to sit here like a pretty little fucking princess
Yeah.
and just like wait for your fucking carriage to come pick you up and keep you dry from the rain. Like, sack the fuck up and walk with
Throw
this
your
dude.
jacket over my wig.
Yes, walk with this fucking
Put
dude.
your
to
hands
go
around
get...
my waist and walk
Exactly.
me in the fucking rain.
It was so embarrassing, and I was like, I
like,
literally
do you want a fucking
said to
chai
him,
latte while we wait here, babe?
I literally said to him, I was like, if anybody is waiting for this fucking vehicle, it is the two women, and you guys will go get the fucking car. But if we're not all going, you're absolutely fucking going.
Mhm.
Like, you're not going to get to sit here.
You're not going to reap the
keep your hair
benefits of being a pretty
dry
woman.
and not be a pretty woman.
Yes.
Like, no. And I was like so turned off by that. I'm like, ew. And like, that's not necessarily like chivalry, but it's just like being a fucking man. Like, sack up. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm the last person to like dock somebody on like, oh, you have to be a manly man. But like, okay, if you're a gay man, do whatever the fuck you want. You can be as much of a princess as you want.
No
because
rules
I'm
apply.
right there with you. But
Yeah.
if you are a straight man, fucking like nut up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hear it from you.
Yeah. You're not complaining about the rain.
No, you're going
You're not
out in the rain.
waiting.
You're
You're
getting
not-
mud on your
yeah.
fucking shoes. Like,
You're doing things for
signing up
me.
for the Marines.
Yeah.
Like, go do the things.
Yeah. You're not making TikToks and waiting for the car to pull around.
Exactly. I'm like, anyway, okay, so that is why I decided to ditch him, because I was like literally so disgusted and
Well,
turned
he's just
off
a
by
young
that.
little boy, so maybe he's not like a fully developed gentleman yet. So
Well, and then that's why also obviously I realized later on he's a literal child. So I'm like, okay, he just needs some growing time. But still, I'm like, ew. But then also my sister's boyfriend, who's a fucking literal meathead TikTok bodybuilder, was the one who was a gentleman. And he was the one who literally said to me after we dropped that guy off, he was like, Cedar, like, I'm so glad that you didn't hook up with that guy because he was such a fucking douchebag.
did the two guys know each other?
No.
Mm.
He was like, he sucked and you deserve so much better. And he's like, if you're ever back in town, I want to introduce you to my friends, blah, 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 blah. So then in this case, the Pretty Little Princess TikTok influencer that's out like flexing his fucking
He had a pair of
ass cheeks.
cojones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and the bronc rider
Mm-hmm.
was the one who wanted to be a pretty little
Wait under
fucking
the
diva.
awning. Yeah.
Fuck off. So anyway, that's also why I'm bothered this week, but I am still going to entertain this man until further notice because I'm bored as fuck.
Love.
And I love a little long distance fling. So
Period.
that's my update, girls.
I love that.
Hot and bothered and gorgeous.
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 So anyway, thanks for letting me go on that rant. I really needed to get that off my chest.
Yeah, he's a little punk ass bitch.
He is a little punk.
I would
ass
say like
bitch.
stop being a fucking punk and go walk in the rain. Did he walk
Yeah.
in the rain? What happened?
We all ended up walking together. Well, because I was like, no, we're not doing that. Like, we're not all going to sit here and wait for him. Like, that's rude. So I was just like,
You're
no,
like,
we're
I
all
don't want to
going.
babysit you while we wait for the fucking bus.
Exactly. But then I will say, like, he did carry me on his back to the car. So
You're so disgusting.
that was one thing.
Yeah.
But I was still I was so turned off that, like, despite the fact that I did want to fuck a rodeo queen, I didn't.
You are the rodeo queen.
Exactly. Anyway, so with all of that being said, I need to know, are you hot? Are you bothered?
I mean, my topic is not as deep and intense. And
That was really intense. Why do I get so like
I'm so bothered.
so bothered?
So bothered. I'm hot this week because I'm really leaning into taking compliments.
I love that.
And just, I feel like compliments are something that growing up, you're kind of like shy with when you receive a compliment. You kind of want to be polite and coy, and you don't want to be like, thank you, and sound too cocky, or you don't want to be like, oh my gosh, like, yeah. But lately, I've kind of caught myself like floundering awkwardly when someone gives me a compliment.
Mhm.
And like I noticed this, like I can't name the two instances, but I get so fucking awkward when I'm like doing you know, meeting people out at work and like, you know, random people when they give me compliments, I always feel like I need to like defend myself or like make a joke and it's always fucking awkward because then it's like, okay, once you make the joke, like where does it go? Like it's the weather's great today. Like where do you go after you kind of like deflect a compliment that someone's giving you?
Yeah.
And then yesterday when I was at the gym, I was like talking to the people at the front and the guy complimented me. He said something really nice. He was like, "You have like the best tattoos out of anyone that comes into the gym." And I was
Slay.
like, "That is so sweet." I was
That's
like,
a really good
I know. I
compliment.
was because I like forget that I have these things on my body.
Yeah.
And I was so taken aback. I was like, "Oh my God, that's so nice. Like, thank you so much. That's so sweet." And then he was like, "Yeah, like I always admire them." Da 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 da. And I was like, "Thanks, like slay." I was like, "They don't mean
Such a
anything,"
slay.
but I was just like leaning into that. But I like genuinely said thank you because I was like so taken aback by how random that was. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know where the fuck I was.
Yeah.
And like I was just like, oh my God, that's so sweet.
You're like, what even
And
just
then
happened?
I
Like,
was thinking about it as I was like working out. I was like, that was such like a smooth social transaction that like I don't think I've ever just like accepted a compliment. And so then not that people compliment me every day, but
they should.
yeah, they should. Then someone else at work the other day said something and I was just like, thank you. Or like I always feel like obligated to like return the compliment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm like,
Yeah.
if you just like accept it and are like humble about it, because I get back to my social anxiety. I'm like, you know, I don't want to sound like, you know, I'm full of myself or I don't want to sound like I already know that or like and then I always feel like I have to return the compliment at some point. But it's just nice. And then it's nice to
Yeah.
compliment people too. So I've been doing that too. We kind of had that conversation the other day where we were like, we need to smile at people.
Give
We-
people compliments.
I give fucking people compliments like if it's deserved. Like if I see something that literally like I'm like, I like that or like this is cool or that's a vibe or like I fuck with that. Like I would do that. Like I want that. Then I'm like, a compliment is fucking deserved.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But like I'm not just gonna like talk to Joe Schmo, like the ballet guy, and be like, your eyes are so beautiful.
Right.
You know, like it has to
Right.
be something that's like
You need to earn your
striking.
compliment.
Like it needs to be something that like affects me emotionally.
Right. I need to feel it deeply.
I need to feel it deeply.
So much so that it like forces the compliment out of
yeah.
me.
But do you feel the same way? Like, how do you react when someone gives you a compliment?
Okay.
Or have you ever even thought about that?
Yes, of course I've thought about it. Because also it depends on how I know them.
Mm.
Like, okay, when friends give me compliments or like I've had multiple instances where I've been like out partying and with like a group of people and so I either know them well or like know them through friends and whatever. And like depending on what the fuck is going on in my head, sometimes people will give me a compliment and I'll be like, I know.
I don't like that.
No, I mean, it's not even like a cocky, like cunty way. It's like if somebody's like, oh my God, your hair is so gorgeous. And I'm like, thank you. And then they're like, no, like it like literally is so shiny. And like they keep going. Then it's like, oh my God, I know.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, where the fuck do you go from there?
Yeah.
But it's like,
that's also annoying.
Yeah,
when
like
people do that.
Relax.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to fuck me or
like,
what?
do you want to skin my fucking head and put it over your face?
And put my weave
Yeah.
on? Like, yeah.
No, we get it.
So, like, sometimes, depending on the conversation and the setting, especially if I'm, like, talking about a guy with somebody and they're like, you're, like, so pretty, trying to, like, say that I deserve better, then I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I'm hot, you know? So then there's sometimes the compliment is accepted by me saying, I know. Sometimes it's a thank you. And that's usually in the circumstance in which it's also from like an acquaintance or a friend.
Mm-hmm.
But then when a stranger, like a complete stranger compliments me, then I get a little awkward.
I'm like the opposite.
That's
I feel
interesting. That's
actually
interesting.
I maybe I just made that up. But I feel like my friends don't really compliment me, and if they do, I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like if one of my friends is like, you look really good today, I'm like, thanks. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You know? But if it's someone random, I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. I'm always like, yes. When it's a stranger, always thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's the question of,
where do I go from there?
do I give them a compliment?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we keep talking about something? Okay, so for example, this weekend out at the bar I was at, I'm walking by, like no one was hitting on me. No one wanted anything to do with me. And I'm like, hey, I'm literally so ugly, but that's fine. The one person that hit on me was like some random guy and he was like cute, but like not cute. And he literally, I was like beelining going somewhere, and he like stops me in my tracks, and he's like, "You are so gorgeous," and I'm like, "Thank you," and then I just keep walking, because I'm like, what
That's
we
like
have nothing to
hot
talk
though.
about,
That's like out of a movie.
kind
Because you're
of.
like, okay, like I'm gonna go like take a piss,
I
and
have
then like
other things to
if it's meant
do.
to be, like I'll see you,
I'll
like
find
we'll
you
circle
later.
back later, and like and
Mm-hmm.
then we'll have like a Hallmark moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's hot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But then there's scenarios like, for some reason, when I'm doing my little hostessing
Chivalry is not
job,
dead. You are so gorgeous. That's so sweet.
yeah, it was sweet. But of course, I didn't talk to that man. So
Yeah.
like, I obviously have a bad picker, but like, whatever. So then also, like, for some reason, when I'm working my little hostessing job, I love to compliment people, and
Mm-hmm.
I
Well, that's
always
like
say,
that's in your job description.
yes, that's true. I only personally at work, I only get complimented on my hair wash days. So if I roll in with a fresh fucking
Blowout.
weave,
Yeah.
I'm getting compliments left and right. And so sometimes, depending on the day, I'm like, "Thank you," and then I'm like, "Okay, let's get down to business. Like, do you want to sit on the patio, or do you want to sit inside? Like, whatever."
Like
And then
real talk, life or death. Let's get down to the bottom of it. We don't have time to chat about the hair. Are we
exactly,
sitting
I'm like,
inside or outside?
I'm not standing here chit chatting with
Yeah.
you. Like, I need to get back to talking about bleaching my asshole with the
Yes.
server over there. So
Yeah.
like, let's figure this out. But then some days, and it really depends on, because it's obviously always a woman, but it really depends on the diva and like what she's working with. Because there are some really fucking fashionable young and old ladies that roll up in that bitch. And so like, sometimes I'm like getting a compliment and I'm like, "Oh my God." And I was literally just thinking how much I love your shoes. Like,
Yeah.
so sometimes it's like feeling the energy where I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
have to dish it back. But then sometimes I'm like, I'm not doing this. Like,
Yeah.
thank you. Where do you want to sit? So I don't know. But I have been seeing a lot of discourse on the internet lately about ways in which women specifically, but I'm sure it can apply to you as well, how to accept a compliment. Because like, for some reason, and I don't know the logistics behind this or why, and I don't know if I've like subscribed to it, but for some reason, like, you shouldn't say thank you when someone gives you a compliment, like in the way to accept it. Not that it's rude, but it's like a confidence thing. Like, you don't need to thank them for acknowledging your beauty kind of vibe. I don't know what the proper response is if you don't.
That's giving like he, she, they, them to me.
It is a little bit, right? Like, I'm like, that's maybe a little like farther than I want to take
That's like a
things.
little too liberal. Like it's like just say
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, just shut
What
the
are you
fuck up.
supposed to say?
Use your manners. Like,
What do you suppose? What do they suggest?
I don't remember. I'm like, I can't give any more details on the topic because like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
But
obtain
but
that
that
stuff
just
in my
that just
memory.
resonated with you to not say thank you when someone gives you a compliment, obviously,
Well,
because
it
it's
resonated with me just as I'm like,
unorthodox.
I don't know how to feel about that. I haven't formed
Yeah.
my own opinions on it, but maybe I'll do my homework tonight and I'll like dig up the research and send it to you.
I'm curious. That sounds extremely woke.
It does seem a
It's
little
giving
woke.
woke.
It is giving woke. It's giving, what are the people called that are like extreme feminists that are like, 'cause I'm a fucking feminist, bitch. If there's one thing I am, I'm a feminist. But that's a lot.
What are you supposed to say? I know.
No, it's not even that. The responses weren't like cunty or rude by any means. I don't remember what they were, and let's not talk about it anymore because
Whatever,
I
we're
feel
over it.
bad.
Why?
Because I
Whatever, we're
don't
not
know what
talking
I'm
about it
saying.
anymore.
I
Okay.
literally don't know what I'm saying.
Okay, well, we've been talking
So
about
anyway,
shit for an hour.
I'm proud of us, and I'll cut this episode down to literally 32 minutes.
Slay.
Okay, well, anyway, what are you gonna do to be better at accepting your compliments?
Start blowing everyone that compliments me. It's simple.
I literally can't even talk
I'm
to
like,
you.
yeah, do you want a blowjob?
Literally dropping to your knees.
Yeah.
Just wearing knee pads
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
I think I
Oh
have some
my
still from my volleyball
God.
days. I'll pass them along.
So good. Mental.
Okay, yeah. So girls, compliment a stranger this week.
No, accept a fucking compliment. Don't compliment someone yet. Don't compliment someone until you get
Yet.
complimented.
Okay, well, homework next week will be to give someone a compliment. This week we're just accepting them.
Yes. And we're saying thank you. We're using our manners. We're using our
Please
words.
and
We're
thank
not that
you.
woke.
We are not that woke.
Yeah, fuck
no.
that.
What else is their homework this week?
Go to a rodeo and eat a hot dog and try and fuck a bull rider.
Pull a Kristen Cavallari.
Yeah.
Fuck somebody younger. Why
Yeah.
not? Like, we have nothing else to do. Let's all experiment a little bit and sleep with someone younger. I've never done that. So, like, maybe I should.
I'm turned off by that situation, but go to the rodeo. Do not like a straight man's TikTok if he's just doing it for
No.
clout.
If you see a straight man on TikTok, just block him. Block every single straight man that comes up on
we're
your For You
talking
page.
about when we talk about a straight man on TikTok?
Who?
That fucking guy with the teeth and who wears like the Van Cleef bracelets, who's
Oh
like
my God, with
always
the
at
eyes?
Verve. Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God,
who we're
dude.
talking about when we talk about straight
literally.
guys on TikTok.
No, and
I'm
it's like, you're so fucking gay, dude.
I'm like, do you work?
No, literally.
Like, do you work?
Where is your income coming from?
Like, what is your income?
Well, like, it's like the gorgeous guy that my sister's with this weekend. He's driving this gorgeous Bronco.
Well,
and
he
I'm like,
probably has little fitness sponsorships. And you know what? He seems like he could have some things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. But like, he has an angle. Like, his angle is fitness and, you know, whatever the fuck else it is. But I'm like, this other guy, for instance, I'm like, what is your vibe?
Being a
what
diva.
is your vibe? Also,
making everybody
God,
question your
okay, now we're going
sexuality.
on a
How do you get
tangent at the end of it.
sponsorships
Now we're
for
going on a
questionable
tangent.
sexuality?
But like have you seen all those TikToks that are like, if a guy wears a Van Cleef bracelet, he's splitting the bill with you? Have you seen those?
No.
And it's like all these little girls that are like, why the fuck are guys wearing Van Cleef bracelets? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I am guilty of, you know, wearing trans jewelry, but like, I'm out of that era, thank God. But I'm like, a straight guy wearing a Van Cleef is like crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
A straight man doing anything other than enlisting in the military is just not, no.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, go research crypto, join the military, do literally
Become a
anything
doctor,
else.
go build a house.
Do literally anything
Change
else.
my oil.
Literally.
I need you guys to do stuff with your hands in some sort of field that I know nothing about.
Exactly.
Like, I need to rely on you.
In this shit.
I need to rely on you for things that I will pay for.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Completely agree.
Our time is up.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes. Okay, well, we love you guys. Go to the rodeo, go fuck someone younger, and
follow
take a
our
compliment.
social medias. Hot and Bothered the Pod. Watch an episode of Drag Race. I'm killing myself now. Okay. Love you, girls. We will see you next Tuesday.
Mwah.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.